What's going on everyone, and this time I want to take a look at the new update for the Apple Watch. The WatchOS 5.2 has officially been pushed out, and in this video I will tell you what exactly that means and all of the things you should know about it. Let's begin right now. You should also know that I update my Apple Watch regularly, and that means that I'm going from WatchOS 5.1.3 all the way to the new version, and you can see that the size of this update is about 400 megabytes, which seems to be a big number for such a small update. I mean, there aren't that many new features. So the description, like all the time, doesn't tell us, or it doesn't give us any useful information at all. So you can see that it only fixes bugs and brings new features and improvements, but we don't know what exactly. I mean, it doesn't tell us anything straight away, but if you click on get more information, you will have this small amount of changes listed for you. But let's start with the first thing, and that is the support for AirPods 2nd generation. That means that if you want to use the upgraded models of the AirPods, even though they are not called the Apple 2nd generation, they're just called the new Apple AirPods. But if you want to use them, you will need to have Apple WatchOS 5.2 running on your Apple Watch. The same thing also applies to the iPhone. In case you want to use them with your iPhone, it also needs to be updated to the latest version, which is at this point the 12.2. In case you are interested in the speed comparison between this and the previous version of the iOS, go to the description and there you will find a link that will get you to that video. I would also like to take a look at the storage before and after the update, so you can see this is the screenshot that I made running 5.1.3 as the version of the WatchOS. You can see that I got 3.6 gigabytes available with the full size of 5.2 gigabytes. This number doesn't really change, but if we take a look at what happened after the update, you will notice that we have the same amount of storage available. One thing that is kind of interesting is that I installed one app, so you can see that we have 29 apps here and 28 here, which means that I downloaded one app. So I guess that means that we got a bit of storage back, even though it's not anything significant, but this is the result that I wanted to show you. One thing that I also forgot is that there is a new app on the Apple Watch, which isn't really that new, but it only got new designs. So you can see that the News app got updated on the iPhone and on the Apple Watch as well, so there's the thing I wanted to point out too. One thing that you should also know is that in case you want to use or update just the Apple Watch and your iPhone is still running on the 12.1.4, it will let you know that you first need to update your iPhone and then you can proceed with the update on your Apple Watch. You are not able to skip this step because they consider it to be very important and they want to make it consistent across devices, so just keep that in mind. The next change that has happened or is part of the WatchOS 5.2 is the new ECG app or support for ECG that comes to some countries in Europe and in Hong Kong, and the full list will be down below in the description so you can take a look at it. I mean, if you are one of them or if your country is included as well. But only people that are using the Apple Watch Series 4 will be able to get this function, of course, because the older generations of the Apple Watch simply don't support this feature, so they can install the update, but they won't have this new ECG feature or app whatsoever, because it's simply not supported. By the way, if you are new here on this channel, and in case you don't want to miss the next uploads, the next updates for your iPhone, iPad, and most importantly, Apple Watch, because it's really important to keep your Apple Watch updated, then click on the subscribe button. I mean, don't really hesitate with it, and see you in the next video, guys. So let's continue with the video. One thing that I should probably tell you as well is that some people on Reddit are already reporting that the battery life on their freshly updated device is a bit better. I mean, the battery should last a bit longer, but that is of course debatable. We need some time to figure it out and to find out if it's really true or if it really makes sense in terms of the battery to update to 5.2, but in general I don't think that there should be a big difference. Everything depends on the way you use your Apple Watch. I mean, if you have some third-party complications and stuff, it's gonna be a lot easier for the Apple Watch to drain the battery. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. In terms of the features, it would be just about it, but if you think that this update is pointless or that you don't really care about the ECG or stuff like that, well, there are also some in the background things and security patches that are also part of this update, And if you want to take a look at them, you can find it in the security content of this update on their website. So you can take a look at it, and there are some things that we don't really know much about, or we don't really understand it that well, but you can see that there are a lot of things that are changed or improved in terms of the security, which means that the Apple Watch, after updating to the WatchOS 5.2, should be a safer device to use. So you can read them. I mean, I'm not gonna go through all of them just because I don't really think that this information is useful for you, but just keep in mind that security has been improved in this update significantly. Okay, so just like with the ECG that made its way to Europe and some regions here as well as in Hong Kong, it's not just about the ECG app, it's also the notifications that show up when you have irregular heart rhythm, which are now also available in the same regions and the same locations. So keep that in mind. Of course, it is really connected to the ECG, but it's not technically the same thing. In the About This update section, they also say that the Apple Watch now gets the RTT, which stands for real-time text for phone calls. It now supports it. But other than that, there aren't any new features or anything that you should know about, any new complications or any new wallpapers. We don't have that, so that would be it. I want to say thank you very much for watching. Just keep in mind that you need to keep your watch up to date, and if you don't want to miss the next episode or the next video where I will tell you something about the new Apple Watch update, then click on the subscribe button. You can also click on the bell right next to it, and that will make sure that you will never miss anything Apple related in the future. So have a nice day and see you in the next video, guys. Peace out.